This segment of Georgia Alabama Sports Live is brought to you by Starling Southern Real Estate.
Hey, welcome in this special edition Kudzu Sports, Georgia Alabama Sports Live. We got a special guest with us today. It's going to be pretty much an introductory interview into Brandon Jenkins, the new Harris County softball coach. Brandon, welcome to Harris County. Even though we've seen you around for years, I think I was telling you earlier, coaching Carla Grace since she was 9.
Right.
I've known you for years, so welcome officially to the county.
Hey man, I'm glad it's been a long time coming, so I'm very excited to be here.
Yeah, I walked in today to the ball field, and everybody's telling you the same thing. Can't recognize you with the black and gold.
That's right.
We saw you with the red, white, and blue for so long.
Yeah.
It's just, second nature to look for Brandon. You got to look for the red.
That's right.
Walk in today to see you in the black and gold. It was a nice sight.
Yeah. Well, I like the colors. I think they look good on me, so I'm excited to be wearing those now.
Yeah, I think I tell people the colors go with my hair now as it gets grayer. Black goes better with it.
There's no doubt.
So, everybody knows. If you don't know, Brandon's already been 11 seasons as a head coach. You've played for 6 state championships, winning 3, is that correct?
That's correct.
So your resume is phenomenal. But who were your inspirations coming up to become a coach?
Well, obviously my dad, I'm a coach's son, and he coached in Muskogee County for 30 years. He was a basketball coach, head basketball coach, assistant football coach, but also did a little bit of baseball and ended up his last 4 or 5 years at Columbus High, he was the softball coach there.
Yeah, so you mentioned Columbus High School. That's where you played baseball at. Playing for Bobby Howard, how much do you see or do you think about the way Bobby Howard coached you when you were playing? You played in the heyday for Columbus High School. How much of your coaching philosophies and styles do you attribute to Coach Howard?
Yeah, I think a lot of them do, and it wasn't just my dad, it was the coaches my dad was around when he coached, so, you had Henry Gresham, which was, real good friends with Nathan Rustin, who was a, legendary coach. But then my dad coached, under Dan Regal at Baker, and Dan went on to win a couple state championships after he left Baker. And then my dad goes to Kendrick, and he's under Buzz Busby, and won a state championship there and then went on to win a couple more. And so I think that all kind of led up to me going to Columbus High and then getting to play under Bobby. Him and my dad were very similar in a lot of ways. Hard-nosed. They were perfectionists. You were going to do it the right way, and we were going to keep working on it until you got it right. And that's where you learn the attention to details and how the little things matter. And the little things are what separates you from being average and being great.
Absolutely, and it's crazy to see when you go. You think you play for Bobby Howard, you're playing baseball. I'm pretty sure you want to be a baseball coach, head coach in baseball somewhere in high school. When did that happen that you discovered softball and just kind of fell in love with that game?
Yeah, so I did baseball. I started at Northside in 2010 and did baseball for 4 years. And then actually my 4th year, my principal, James Wilson, called me in and said, "Hey, I hear you're going to help out with softball." And I said, "Yeah, I'm going to try that out." And he said, "Well, why don't you take the head job?" And I thought about it, talked to my wife at the time about it, and she agreed. So it was kind of a stepping stone, to be honest with you. He said, "This will be a good head coaching opportunity for you in baseball in the future." So I did both of them 2 years together. And then my twin boys, they started playing baseball, and I started, I was in that spot where I was coaching everybody else's kids. So I had to give one of them up, and I just fell in love with softball. So I gave up baseball so that I could coach my kids through Little League and travel ball up until now.
Yeah, now they're playing right now with the freshman team at Harris County. Your girl still coming up cheerleading,
right.
Played softball last season. Well, how special is it to you now that you talk about their whole life growing up, you had to coach them in Little League and travel ball, but now at the high school, and now you know how special high school sports is, and that now you get to share that moment with them?
Yeah, absolutely. I've missed out a lot, in their lives, especially in the sports world, because I was coaching, while they were playing. And, again, being a coach's son, my dad came to Columbus High with me when I was a freshman. So, I was fortunate enough to play for him in football and in baseball a little bit. And so now, again, to give up baseball for my kids and now to be able to get back into it And to be in the school building with them every day like I was with my dad, and you know, to come out here and help Coach Dimitri, you know, next year and for the next, you know, few years with my kids is pretty awesome.
Yes, I was fortunate. I got to umpire Preston and Caleb when they were 12-year-old at the Little League.
Right.
And great ball players. And Preston with the football this season as a freshman, and seeing just how much they've grown. And I'm excited that you get to be out here with them now and get to see it firsthand. You don't have to hide behind your red, white, and blue jersey,
right.
shirts and hats. You can come out here and rock and support them.
That's right.
With the black and gold as well. So you mentioned when you're going from baseball to softball, what is something in softball that made you think this game is special? It's a special game.
I feel like in softball, there's a lot more strategy involved. You know, the bases are shorter. There's a lot more small ball game, you know, as far as bunting and running. And you just, you know, if you're not thinking to play ahead, you know, you're going to get beat. And so, you know, just with that, you know, and again, I love baseball, but, you know, baseball can get long, you know, and it can get boring, you know, and in softball, I mean, you know, you get two good pitchers out there and you're done in an hour and 20 minutes, hour, 30 minutes. And, you know, with softball, you also played in a lot of tournaments. And so you're playing sometimes 5 games in a 24-hour period. So you don't have time to think about, you know, a week or 3 or 4 days in between games. You know, you've got to forget about it and move on to the next game.
That's pretty good. Now, you being at Northside before this, obviously in the same region as Harris County, you've played Harris County a lot in the region and in the state playoffs the last couple of years. What is something you've seen out of these Harris County players that gets you excited about being able to coach them? What is just something that you've noticed with them?
Well, you know, this program has been really good for a long time. Again, I started doing softball in 2013, and it's always been, you know, Harris County, you know, has always been very competitive. And, you know, these last couple of years, you know, the program, you know, you finished third in 5A, you know, 2 years in a row. And, you know, you've just got a bunch of girls out there that care and that, you know, love to play the game, really good pitching. You know, you got Riley Huckabee coming back, you know, she's going to be a junior. And, you know, she's got 2 years down there at Columbus playing against the best of the best, you know, and that's something that you can't teach is experience, you know. And then, you know, after we got through Riley last year, you know, we thought we were good, and then we faced, you know, Chloe, you know, Wolfenbarger, and, you know, she threw 10 innings against it, and, you know, and shoved it up our tail, you know. So, you know, just the youth of this program, you know, and everybody returning from last year's team. And, you know, we're just going to try to, you know, get the best out of them and make a run for it.
Yes, opposite of kind of where we talked to Coach Dimitri, who come in, he had some upperclassmen but no experience. They hadn't played as much, and now you don't just have experience, you have kids that's played in big high leverage games, pitchers that's pitched in high leverage situations. So it's not like you're walking into a program that's not been around winning and hasn't been around pressure situations.
Absolutely.
Now you came out today, tryouts coming up, you want to talk about them dates and how that's going, moving on to the future already?
Yes, you know, so another exciting thing about this program is we have a feeder system, you know, and every girl that comes through that middle school is coming to the high school. So I'm very excited about getting to work with the middle school, and so we're going to run tryouts the week of May 6th through the 9th. And the middle school is going to go Monday and Tuesday, the 6th and the 7th, after school from 3:30 to 6. And then we're going to turn around and do the high school Wednesday and Thursday, same time, 3:30 to 6. So by, you know, Friday, May the 10th, you know, we're going to go ahead and we're going to know, you know, who's made the middle school team and who's made the high school team, and we can get rocking and rolling with the season.
Yeah, it's exciting when you have this middle school feeder program, is absolutely what it is. And you see how it can be used, and you see how I take football since Coach Watson's got here. He's really been on board with getting these middle schoolers, and you can see already early on in his tenure how much it's paid off. They understand when they get to high school what's expected out of them, what the standard is, what they expected in the weight room. And you see the baseball players are similar with Coach Gilstrap being at that, you know, having that coach that's on board with what the high school is preaching. So it's super exciting knowing, hey, we're gonna have the middle school tryout at the high school early in the week, then we're gonna have, it's not gonna be a gap, a wait in between. Everybody's gonna know pretty quick. I believe in the past there was quite a bit of a wait, but know if you made the middle school team and whatnot.
Right.
It's exciting to know that, hey, this is how we're, it's going to be that week, that next week you'll know where you need to be. Super excited to have you here, have you in Harris County. The culture that you're bringing with you, the ambiance of your presence at the field has always been, when I coach, I always look forward. I got to go talk to Brandon after the game, see what he thought, see about this situation.
Right.
And knowing how much I looked up to you just coaching Little League and travel ball, and knowing that Coach Dimitri has another set of ears to lean on, and vice versa.
Right.
For you got somebody in Tony that you're familiar with, Coach Dimitri,
Right.
and that y'all can communicate to one another. I think it's Harris County is a special place. I
Yes.
think to me it's a special place. Just how open arms have been welcoming everybody from Coach Moss with flag football, Coach Watson, Coach Ram with the girls basketball. It's always been this big thing, but now we're getting to coaches that we've known. Y'all have known each other.
Right.
You and Tony's familiar with one another.
Yes, absolutely. And that's the thing is, me and Gilstrap, we've known each other since high school. We played against each other in high school, played against each other in Babe Ruth, and we've become really close friends. And, our kids grew up together. And so, he does a great job. He does as good a job as anybody I've ever seen getting the kids ready for the next level. So love to have people like that. And then me and Tony, same thing, we grew up together. We played, went to middle school together, played on the same Babe Ruth team together, played against each other in high school, and then turned around and played one season together at CBCC in the fall. So, I'm really good friends with Tony and John Dimitri, and but all those coaches you mentioned, Coach Watson, like you said, he's done a great job with the middle school program, and it's already paying off.
Yeah.
And but it's just there's a lot of great people up here, and I felt like for years I've kind of been on the outside looking in, because we've lived up here. My kids go here, and my kids love it in Harris County, and I've never really been able to be all in, because I've been wearing those other colors. So it's just great to be up here and be all in now.
Yeah, we're super excited to have you up here. I can't state that enough, the excitement that we're having. And softball, you mentioned May for tryouts. I mean, it'll be summertime, and the softball starts in September, the end of August into September. That'll be here before you even know it.
Oh, absolutely.
And we're excited to get that going. Brandon, welcome to the county again. Thanks for coming on this show with us. We're going to do more with you.
Yep.
Georgia Alabama Sports Live is definitely going to be calling some softball games.
Well, we appreciate it.
I can't wait to get up here and watch them games. We still got chasing, some region and chasing some playoff seeding with Coach Dimitri in the
Yep.
baseball program right now. But you can't help but take an eye off the road every now and then to kind of look over at the softball, which the Harris County Sports Complex, I talk about during the game.
Right.
It's unique. I went to Jordan for a couple years. Coach Dimitri, his first kind of coaching thing was helping his dad out
Right.
when I was playing at Jordan. So I've known Tony and John when they'd come out there and help us. But that's what, Jordan, we didn't have a sports complex.
Right.
We had a ginormous field with a baseball diamond on the edge of it. Then we had basketball on the ones.
Yeah.
Here in the county, we got softball right behind baseball, the football field with soccer going on. You got multiple sports at the same time.
Right.
We got a athletic trainer that's bouncing around place to place, got her own little golf cart riding around. It's a special place out here.
Oh, there's no doubt.
And I can't help but keep looking at that softball field and thinking, it won't be long, we'll be out there watching you and them girls chasing a state championship.
Yeah. Hey, that's what we're hoping for. And, again, this indoor facility, I mean, the facilities around here are, they're top notch. It's one thing I get to do as a coach is travel around the state and play in a lot of big tournaments in a lot of places. And it's as nice here as it is anywhere in the state. So that's definitely one thing that's, you look at, when you're at another school and say, man, it sure would be nice,
Nice to have something. I mean,
Absolutely.
people see this and the first thought is, well, they got a football field.
Right.
It's a 50-yard football field, but people can't see the yellow pictures now. We got baseball, softball. We got a baseball, softball diamond. Soccer team just left out of here.
Right.
They're in here training for a game they're going to. So we have all pictures we're throwing. There's a mound used to be over on the side. Coach Dimitri had pictures in here.
Right.
There's so many things you could use this for.
You can take a full round infield, outfield. You're never going to have a rain day.
Never.
You're always going to be able to come in and practice and do something.
Yeah,
and that just gets you ahead of everybody else.
Absolutely, because other teams have to go home.
Correct.
A lot of teams are just fortunate to have an indoor cage.
Right.
If you have an indoor cage, you're already got to step up. You could hit, like you mentioned, you could hit a whole round of infield in here and never miss a beat, still have pitchers throwing and everything
right.
else. So it's exciting to know, I'm sure you're just as excited as we are to have you, to have these resources. So I'm gonna end it with that, with Coach Jenkins. Welcome again for Kudzu Sports, Georgia Alabama Sports Live, Rick Beach, and we'll see you at the field.
This segment of Georgia Alabama Sports Live is brought to you by Starling Southern Real Estate.